me tell you something nobody in the personal finance world wants to say out loud. Your money problem is not about your income. It's not about the economy. It's not about inflation. It's not even about your budget. It's about who you think you are.
Most people secretly believe they are a spender, not because they decided to be one, but because they've been one for so long, it became their identity. They walk into a store and feel nothing buying a $90 candle they don't need. But they feel physically sick thinking about putting $90 into an index fund. That gap, that emotional gap, is why they will stay broke for the rest of their lives.
Here's what I mean. Say you earn $5,000 a month. You feel like you're doing okay. You pay your rent, you pay your bills, you grab coffee every morning, eat out a few times a week, upgrade your phone when a new one drops. At the end of the month, you have $200 left. Maybe $300 if you were careful. You tell yourself you'll save more next month, but next month looks exactly like this month. And the month after that.
Here's the brutal truth. You're not struggling because life is expensive. You're struggling because you have built an entire lifestyle around the identity of someone who spends first and saves whatever is left. And whatever is left is almost always nothing.
This is the part where most financial advice fails. They tell you to make a budget. They tell you to cut your subscriptions. They tell you to stop buying coffee. That advice is not wrong. It's just completely useless if you haven't fixed what's underneath. Because you can write a perfect budget on Sunday night and completely abandon it by Tuesday afternoon. Not because you're weak, not because you're irresponsible, but because your identity hasn't changed.
A spender doesn't save money. A spender budgets until something tempting comes along, and something tempting always comes along. A builder? Someone who has built the identity of a person who creates wealth doesn't experience that same pull. They don't white-knuckle their way through the mall. They just don't feel the urge the same way because their financial identity is different.
So how do you change your financial identity? Not with motivation, not with willpower, not with a vision board or a manifestation journal. You change it with evidence, specifically with evidence you create for yourself every single week until your brain accepts the new story. Here's exactly how it works. Every week, not monthly, weekly, you sit down for 15 minutes and you do one thing. You look at your net worth number, not your bank balance, not your paycheck, your net worth. What you own minus what you owe. That number.
If you've never calculated it, do it right now. Add up everything you own, savings, investments, car value, anything with value. Then subtract everything you owe. Credit card debt, student loans, car loan, all of it. The number you get is your financial reality. Not what you hope it is, not what you feel like it should be, what it actually is. Most people are horrified the first time they see it. Some people see a number that's negative. Some people see a number that's technically positive, but so small it scares them. Good! Let it scare you. Because that number, that real number, is the beginning of your new identity.
Here's what you do next. You write the number down, you date it, you put it somewhere you will see it. Then next week, you do it again. You write down the new number. You look at whether it went up or down. That's it. That's the whole practice. 15 minutes, once a week. Track the number.
But here's what happens inside your brain when you do this consistently. After 4 weeks of tracking, you start making micro decisions differently. You're standing in line at checkout with something in your hand you don't need, and instead of rationalizing it, your brain pulls up the number. Will this help the number go up or down?
That's the shift. That's the moment your identity starts to change. You're no longer a person who buys things and hopes money works out somehow. You're a person who protects the number, who grows the number, who measures their life in net worth trajectory, not in purchases they barely remember.
Now, I want to show you what this looks like over time, because the math here is devastating in the best way. Person A does not track, does not review, saves an average of $200 a month, mostly by accident. Over 10 years, at a conservative 7% return, roughly $34,000.
Person B shifts their identity, starts tracking weekly, starts protecting the number, gradually increases their savings to $800 a month, not because they earn more, but because they see the number every week and they start wanting it to go up more than they want things. Over the same 10 years, at the same 7% return, roughly $138,000.
Same salary, same economy, same coffee prices, same rent. 4 times the outcome. That is the cost of identity. That is the price of staying a spender when you could have become a builder.
And I need you to understand something. Person B is not smarter than Person A. Person B is not more disciplined. Person B did not wake up one day with some superhuman level of self-control. Person B just looked at the number every week. That's it. The looking changed the deciding. The deciding changed the identity. The identity changed everything.
So let me ask you something direct. When was the last time you calculated your net worth? Not thought about it, not assumed, actually sat down, added the numbers, and looked at the real figure. If the answer is never, or I don't remember, that tells you everything you need to know about why your finances feel out of control.
You can't manage what you don't measure. You can't improve what you refuse to look at. And you cannot build wealth with the identity of someone who finds it more comfortable not to know. That comfort is costing you. Every single month, that comfort is costing you thousands.
Here's what I want you to do today. Not this weekend, not after you finish this video. Today. Open a spreadsheet, open a notes app, open anything. Write down every asset, write down every debt. Subtract one from the other. Look at that number. Really look at it.
That number is not a judgment. It's a starting point. It's the first data point in a new story you are going to write about yourself. Because you cannot go from spender to builder without first knowing exactly where you are standing.
Set a reminder on your phone right now. Same day, same time, every week. Check net worth. 15 minutes every week without skipping. Because every week you skip, you're telling your brain the number doesn't matter. And the moment you decide the number doesn't matter, you go back to being a spender. Here is what people who are building real wealth know that most people will never figure out. Wealth is not built in dramatic moments. It's not built when you land the big raise or make the perfect investment or finally start that business. It is built in 15-minute windows on an ordinary Tuesday night when you sit down, look at the numbers, and decide, again, to be someone who protects it. 1,000 of those ordinary Tuesday nights. That's wealth. That is the actual secret. Not the stock picks, not the side hustles, not the passive income courses. The identity, the consistency, the weekly look at the number that tells you who you are becoming.
So here's your choice. Keep drifting, keep spending, keep telling yourself next month will be different when nothing about this month has changed. Keep waking up at the end of every year slightly further behind than you hoped. Keep feeling that low-grade financial anxiety that never fully goes away because deep down you know you are not building anything.
Or sit down today. Calculate the number, write it down. Set the reminder, start the weekly practice. Build the evidence that rewrites your identity from spender to builder, one Tuesday night at a time. In 1 year, you will look back at today and either be grateful you started or wish you had. The number is waiting. Go look at it. Build the life the number makes possible.